Hey guys, what is up? MegaNerd Squad here, and today we will be reviewing Dr. Sleep. So Dr. Sleep stars Ewan McGregor as Danny, all grown up. And throughout the beginning of this movie, it doesn't start from from the point you see in the trailer. It starts from the point when he's a little boy and you see some things that you didn't see in The Shining before, and kind of references The Shining as well in those flashbacks. And you see him, he's a drunk, and he doesn't know what he's doing with his life really. He's kind of just going around drinking, and he really is kind of like a homeless person. He meets some guy who actually helps him out in this town, and he actually gives him a place to stay, and he's trying to help get him sober and have him have a better life. And then that's where we pick up an actual movie from 8 years later.
You start off with seeing pretty much directly after the original movie The Shining, the repercussions, or how Danny is reacting to being basically in that traumatic experience. And he, because he has these special abilities, and he saw that woman in room 237, the one who tried to strangle him, and that Jack was in denial about, even though he went in there and seen her. That's one of the creepiest parts about this whole movie, is the old lady from the bathtub scene from The Shining. It was handled with such care, and it was perfect.
She is super
in
creepy.
Dr. Sleep. With the way the flashback or whatever, when he's going through on the carpet on his little tricycle, and he stops at 237 and the door opens and it's pitch black in there and she starts walking out towards him. That part, that's probably one of my favorite parts, and it's right there in the beginning of the movie pretty much. So right off of the bat, I'm like, hell yes, this is awesome. This is gonna be a good movie. And though it's long, I had already heard that The Shining, the hotel, the Overlook Hotel, is at the end of the movie, third act type of thing. So I was really just anticipating that. I knew the first 2 hours was going to be build up of who our new characters are, where Danny is in life, and yeah, he is an alcoholic just like his father was. He does it to kind of try to drown out those memories of the traumatic experiences. And
you do get to see basically the villains of this movie, which are these people who have The Shining as well, but instead of just being normal people that have that ability, they actually kill other people who have The Shining, little kids as well, and they literally consume their Shining and capsule it and use that to keep living.
Yeah.
It even says that some of them even live for like hundreds or thousands of years.
You meet this lady, Rose the Hat. Yeah, that was her name. Rose the Hat. She wears her hat. You get to meet her band of people like her who apparently they're not as strong as her. Oh, one of them is the giant from Twin Peaks. I noticed that as soon as I saw him. I'm like, oh shit, this is. I love this as well. The more fear you have, and all that helps them. And it's almost like a spirit or something. Whatever stuff inside you comes out. It looks like smoke, and they like inhale it and stuff, and they all crowd around the body as they kill it. It's kind of weird.
There's a disturbing scene in this movie. Well, I thought it was disturbing, but yeah, they did get this kid because he has The Shining.
The kid from Good Boys.
Yeah.
And that was the only part that made me like okay with it, bearable to watch. Basically, I was like, oh, I was remembering his funny moments in Good Boys.
Otherwise, it's pretty disturbing because they literally tie him up and stab him,
messed up,
and keep getting his shine over and over. They keep stabbing him over and over till he dies. And then they dig him up. Yeah, they don't sugarcoat this. They actually actually like show the blood and them stabbing him, and it was super, super disturbing. This girl who has The Shining, she actually talks to Danny in his room, and starts saying hello or good morning, and he kind of knows that she has The Shining as well, and eventually Rose starts to sense Abra, this girl who has The Shining, and is more powerful than what we have ever seen. She's even more powerful than Danny as well, and she's on the hunt for Abra because she wants her Shining. Another cool thing I really enjoyed about this movie is the character relationship between Danny and Abra. I actually like that. Ever since they kill the young boy, the baseball player, and she notices this extremely great power, almost like a Jean Grey type, she senses her from across the country, from like Iowa to the East Coast. So she knows that her power's strong, and they want to go after her so they can harness her power.
So then Ewan McGregor wants to help her out, and that's basically how it goes.
There's a lot of references to The Shining as well that make you feel like you're back to The Shining as well, which is actually really cool. They do very well with all these callbacks and like throwbacks to the original movie, which is very cool because they do get, at the very beginning of the movie, you do get the Warner Bros. Shot, and it's like the same exact one, the old style from the original Shining. They do some shots that from the original Shining when they go to the Overlook Hotel. They're just really cool.
Hey, that's the part that got me most excited when we first seen the Overlook Hotel. It's like towards the third act of the movie. But that part got me so hyped up. I was so ready for it to go down. Before they killed all the other bad people that were Shining, I thought they were all going to go to the Overlook Hotel. I thought it was all going to go down there, and I kind of wish it had. Even though the sequence is cool where they just pick them off, by like shooting them and stuff. But I think it would have just been more powerful and more cool had they all went to the Overlook Hotel and it all kind of went down there, and you get to see them get picked apart by the ghosts and stuff. There's people
really
that,
cool.
like one by one getting picked off. I think that would have been better because that's what I was most excited for. I kind of knew where this movie was heading. I'm like, it's going to end at the Overlook Hotel. Okay. Because that hotel preys on people that can shine, and the better you are at it, the more it preys on you. So this evil lady was very, very good at shining, so he knew they would really go after her. So they finally end up back at the hotel, and he unlocks them all basically because he kind of harnessed. Or no, he shut them out in his mind.
He apparently has the ability to lock up these ghosts into his mind and like lock them up so they can't bother with him anymore, which is cool. And I don't think really anyone. She's like one of the only people who can do that.
Yeah, he pretty much faces his demons and has them all locked away. They're still in his memory, and they can still mess with him, but he doesn't allow them to. They're locked up in his mind. So once she has him down on the carpet, choking him out, ready to kill him,
he's like,
he unlocks them all, and then they're all there, and they just all crowd around her basically.
Yeah, they basically eat her essence.
They're basically just like that she was doing to the innocent people.
Yeah.
So karma.
Very satisfying.
Sweet karma on that. It was beautiful. So I'm so glad that happened. But right after, they turn and look at Danny and start doing it to him, and they possess him. It's weird how they pretty much ate her as a whole and then just possessed him. But I like that it happened to him just like it happened to his dad. Because that's what would have happened. But I don't like how it happened so fast. But maybe it's because he had the power.
Yeah.
Even when he denied the alcohol.
He did kind of fight them.
He did kind of fight it, which is why I thought it would take more time for it to possess him.
Yeah, I thought he was
because
going to be able
Jack Torrance, it took him months to get possessed, and he was just a normal, angry, recovering alcoholic type of guy until he snapped. They got to him, but
I guess since it was more than one, it was like
I think he was more susceptible because he has that open mind of being able to see them and communicate with them. So once they actually all got him, it was easy. It was done.
I loved how they killed her, and you
I loved that too.
And
then nothing was there but her hat.
You kind of just get something that I kind of don't like about this movie, but it's just a personal preference. Danny goes into Overlook Hotel before Rose even comes, and he opens the boiler room and twists this all up so it would catch on fire, the hotel. And at the end, you realize that he goes back to boiler room to make sure it all explodes, and he fights the possession, which is really cool. And he goes out with
then he sits there, and he can kind of see like his mother, who... One thing about this movie is that he knows that when you die, there's something after you die, like your presence is still there, kind of like ghosts and stuff like that. So his mother's there, and he's sitting in the boiler room when it's going up in flames. The whole hotel's going up in flames, just like apparently it does in the novel. That was one of the things Kubrick and Stephen King didn't get along on. Mm-hmm. Everything froze in Kubrick's, but everything was supposed to burn, like it does in the book in Stephen King's, which I thought was cool, that they finally did what Stephen King had intended for the hotel, for it all to go up in flames. I didn't like the fact that, yes, I agree with you, that he ultimately dies. Having said that, you find out in this movie early on that after death, there is some sort of life. So she still talks to him like he's standing right next to her, but when you look at her, she's sitting there by herself. Which is the same thing he was doing with Dick Halloran, because Dick died in the first movie, The Shining, and he's communicating with him throughout this movie, which I like, but the thing is about when you bring back characters from a movie that's like 40 years ago, it's so tough to do because it's not going to be the same. It's going to be different. You got different actors playing all these roles, and it's just hard to get past the charade of things when you have a clearly different actor or actress portraying a character that you know, a very well-established character. And they did that for all of the characters that we like. Jack Torrance, Dick Halloran, the mother, Danny, all of them, they had casted as different people to fill those shoes. And I like that I'm fine with them doing that, but I think the way it should have been handled was a little bit more obscure. Like, keep them out of focus. Maybe mess with the vocals a little bit more to make it more believable. Same thing with all the ghosts. We get to finally see all the ghosts again. And it is towards the end of the movie. I wish there was more Overlook Hotel in this movie, but I understand they're just focusing on The Shining. I would say keep those to a minimum and make them obscure. But we got to see like full-on sequences of these characters played by different actors and actresses, which kind of lost me. Same with all the ghosts, which I didn't think it was going to happen with the ghosts, because you can clearly see the ghosts standing all around. It's not like them in The Shining. It's more obscure. You see them for glimpses. You don't see them for full-on 10 or 20 seconds like you do in Dr. Sleep.
I think they did that because now everyone knows there was ghosts, so they can't really hide it anymore.
I thought their costumes were also a little bit too clean. I didn't think they replicated them good enough, personally. And then the one part when the guy was recreating the same scene where the guy has the scotch and the bloody head and he says, "Lovely party, isn't it?" He did that part so bad. It bothered me to my core. I was like, oh gosh. But I know it's hard to do. It's hard to recreate those things. So that granted, fine. The music was one of the biggest parts about making this movie The Shining in the Shining universe. They used the same tones and music, which is
just about as good as the original. So.
They did just as good as the original. They can't really get too much credit for it though, because all they did was copy and paste.
Yeah.
So they took a template and stamped it on with a different story. I will say that is one of the best qualities about this movie is the music. You get all of the Shining music, all the little like jumps of music. All those chords are played perfectly. So it's very well done as far as trying to get you into that old Shining universe. If you guys haven't seen the movie, like me, before you go into it, it's called Dr. Sleep. You're wondering, why is it called Dr. Sleep? And that was one of my questions that I wanted answered while watching the movie. And you find out why they call him Dr. Sleep. It's one of those Family Guy things when he goes, oh, that's why they call it that. It's in the dialogue. It's about mid-movie where this cat goes into everybody's room, and whenever someone's about to die, this cat will lay at your feet, at the foot of your bed. And he goes in there, follows the cat, and he talks to this old guy, and he's like, well, I know that when the cat comes to your room, you die. And he just tells him to stay with him because he just wants to be comforted. He doesn't want nurses or doctors. And then he ends up calling him Dr. Sleep.
I enjoyed this movie a lot, and I really enjoyed how they went through and kind of explored more of the Shining abilities and the girl, her new Shining abilities, and all of the people who, like, the different abilities, what they could do with that. I really enjoyed that, and I think they could, if they wanted, they could spin off of that somehow. I think that would be really cool if they spun off of the ability somehow. Other than that, I really loved Danny's character. Ewan McGregor is amazing in that role.
Yeah.
And I love the Dr. Sleep part. I love the little girl as well. She was really good at acting as well. And it was just a good sequel to The Shining and explored more of something that was in the original and explained way more in here to make it more understandable. I'm going to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was really solid. I enjoyed about every second of it.
I would give this movie 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it's an enjoyable movie. It's not like a waste of time. I just have certain problems with it that they're not like over the top problems. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just my perception of what I would think, if you learned more about The Shining. But maybe it's in the book. I haven't read the book, so I don't know the laws of The Shining and where you can take it. But because I love The Shining a lot, my favorite aspect of it is the haunted hotel, the Overlook Hotel and the ghosts within it. So I wanted a little bit more of that towards the end, and I knew this movie is not about that. But I also knew that from the trailer they're going to it, and I figured that'd be the third act, which it was. I just kind of wanted more of that creepy, awesome eeriness that The Shining had. But I will still say this is a good movie. Go check it out. 7.5 for me.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy Dr. Sleep, let us know in the comment section. And hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll have plenty of movie reviews, trailer reactions, all that stuff for you guys. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we drop brand new videos. And then thank you guys so much for watching this video. MegaNerd Squad, out!